Good morning, yogis. Welcome to Yoga with Lemon and Blue. This morning's practice is going to be geared around this idea that, and something I've been exploring in my teaching, mostly when it comes to planning, to be honest. This idea and understanding that it's not really the poses that matter, but the cueing that goes along with them. And that rule can only apply absolutely to a certain degree. But every pose, especially in the Western world where we've given every pose a variation and a modification, it's the cueing that comes along with it and the approach that we have. So this morning we're going to do about a half an hour practice on child's pose and a flow that kind of builds up to a more heated expression of child's pose from there. So grabbing a blanket, a couple of blocks, and a bolster. And we're going to begin in supported child's pose. So a bolster, or a block rather, is an option. Something that feels comfortable for you. Knees are wide and just allowing the body to lay over the bolster. So not only does the support of the bolster beneath the chest help to take the pressure off of the ankles, it also just feels really grounding and really comfortable, really safe. So softening the eyes and just allowing yourself to drop into your body, into your practice. Feeling the breath as it moves in, out, and throughout the body. Noticing your orientation in terms of your body to the earth and how the breath travels more into the back body on an in-breath. And we feel the back body softly soften back in towards your center line on the out-breath. And in the front body, we can feel on an inhale this restriction of the bolster, whether it's beneath the chest or beneath the abdomen. On the exhale, feel that load kind of soften. So witnessing the natural flux of an in-breath and an out-breath as you start to tune in more to your body. And allowing there to be this opening where we are okay with experiencing child's pose, where we perhaps have a preconceived notion of what this pose is about. Allowing yourself to be open. And when you're ready, just lifting up. And we'll just take, if you're using the block, just taking that away. Stretch your arms in front of you. And take an inhale breath to lift up. Find a table pose. Resituate your knees so that they are actually around the bolster. And then exhale, press back again to that softly supported child's pose. Inhale as you lift up, table. Exhale as you press back to child's pose. Inhale as you lift upwards to table. Exhale as you press back to child's pose. One more time. Inhale as you rise up to table, just lubricating in the shoulder. Exhale as you press back to child's pose. This time, inhale as you rise up table, wrap your toes under and seek out your first downward facing dog. Your hips in your seat draw up and back. Keep a soft bend in the knees, especially if your hamstrings tend to give you a little bit of grief. Start to let the focus be more this length that we can squeegee out of the side body. Perhaps moving the hips side to side. Let your next inhale breath take you forwards to a plank pose. Let your next exhale breath soften you down. Find the pelvis leg over the bolster. Inhale as you softly blossom up. Bhujangasana, supported cobra pose. Exhale as you release. Wrap your toes underneath. Soft engage through the lower abdomen to press you up. Plank pose. Downward facing dog. So some of us may have the forehead resting on the bolster. Others may not. Either option is fine. Doesn't really matter either way. Maybe just enjoying the process of creating shift or change in your practice. Draw forwards again. Find your plank pose. Exhale. Softly descend down. Supported on the belly. Inhale as you lift up through to cobra pose. Exhale as you soften down. Wrap your toes under, engaging through the lower abdomen. Press straight up and back to downward facing dog. You're ready from here. You can tip your gaze forwards. If you prefer to hop, you absolutely can. Just making note of where the bolster is. Otherwise, stuff your hands behind your wrists. Let the upper body lay. A few breaths, soften at the knees, just to give your hamstrings a little time to catch up. You can add a gentle sway here side to side. Inhale as you peel halfway through. Draw the crown of the head forwards, elongating through the spine. Exhale, do your best to maintain that neutrality in the spine as you hinge forwards at the hip. Doing that again. Inhale as you rise halfway up. Find that space and length through the bones of the spine. Exhale as you fold forwards. Inhale when you're ready. Soft knees. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale as you wrap into your heart space. Take your right foot and place it on the bolster. You're going to lengthen, so moving your front hip points so that they come equal to each other. So your right leg is straight, your left leg is straight, and your left heel is likely off of your mat. Take a deep breath in as your arms stretch towards the sky. Exhale, folding forwards, and you may or may not require a block here as you hinge forwards. So there will be this desire here to bend your right knee and let that ring true. Finding the stretch that feels suitable for the lateral line of your right leg. So the straighter your right leg comes, the more you're going to start to feel that stimulation of stretch through the IT band, all of that tissue that runs along the outer seam of the right leg. Soften through the right knee to come back up to standing. Reach your arms back to the sky, breath in. Exhale, palms draw together before your heart. Step your right foot to the other side. Left foot lands on the bolster. Straighten, so your right heel will be off of your mat, your left leg is straight. Trying to find this equilibrium through your front hip points. So locating that, take a breath in and reach your arms to the sky. Exhale as you soften forwards, and again on the venture forwards, your left knee can soften just to find this gauge. And if this feels like a lot in your body, recruit your blocks, highest option. So the more weight we lay into the pelvis, the more that stretch is going to be stimulated through all of this fascial, tight tissue on the left lateral edge of the leg. Trying to find ease in the breath as we awaken through all of these tissues that just need a little coaxing through hydration and lubrication. Soften the left knee. If you're using your blocks, just set them off to the side. Inhale as you come all the way to standing. Exhale, wrap your palms together before your heart. Step both feet, and you're going to come slightly forwards in front of the bolster. Take a deep breath in as your arms reach up. Exhale as you sit down into chair pose. So again, the intent here is just to find that heat and gentle fire in the core. and in the legs. And then start to make your way down. Find the tip of your glutes just resting on the bolster. Grab your block and just bring it back behind you. And you're gonna relax entirely over. The spine lays along the bolster. So block here could be at a variety of options, just depending on comfort in mostly the curvature of your neck and support for all of those muscles. Relax your arms beside you. Find this awareness of deep core. So your front hips draw together. We can feel the deepest layer of the transverse abdominis turning on. Pick one foot up and then the other. Allow gravity to just lay the thighs so we can just wrap our minds around the shape, the lack of support perhaps with the 6 inches of the bolster. And then as you're ready, just checking in here that we have an understanding of neutral spine and stable pelvis. So keep the front ribs gated in. Keep the layer of transverse abdominis hugging in as well. Take a breath in, lower your right toes down. They may or may not touch the floor. Exhale, coming back up. Inhale, lowering your left toes down. Exhale, coming up. So what we want to avoid here is this kind of movement that's guided by spinal flexion and extension and posterior and anterior tilting of the pelvis. So we want to find neutrality through all of those movements. And what we might realize is that the movement is much more difficult than we anticipated it to be when we harness into all of those. Just go another 2 to each side, trying to stay soft through the cables of the neckline and the shoulders. And when you're ready, just extending both legs up. Again, draw the pubic bone towards the navel so we feel that support mechanism of the low belly. Option to stay with the arms on the ground, or if you want to challenge, take your arms to the sky. And on the floor, this wouldn't seem quite as difficult. So we have this psyche element that goes on. We're balancing on the bolster. This mind-body connection keeps us nice and safe. Release the arms down, bend the knees. Plant one foot down and then the other, just to be extra mindful of the low back. Press your way up from here. Set your block off to the side. Finding Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale as you peel halfway through. Exhale as you let go. Hands to mat. If you'd like to challenge and hop back, you go ahead. Otherwise, step back to find plank pose. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale as you shine the heart space open. Keep the heads of the shoulders drawing down. Find the engagement of the erectors of the spine. Exhale and lower. Toes wrap underneath. Find your way back to downward facing dog. Stay rooted in your left foot. We're going to inhale and reach the right leg to the sky. Bring your right foot through. Plant it around the bolster. Lower your left knee down, and again, you may or may not require your blocks here. So nice way to modify. So sit with this for a couple of breaths, just checking in what the body's response is. You can move or you can stay still. Alignment-wise, checking in that the right knee doesn't surpass the toes. Take the skin of the sacrum and direct it towards your left knee crease or the left heel. And by doing that, we connect to the deep flexors of the hips. So psoas, iliacus. Should feel a lot deeper than previous. Hands can stay thigh, heart, or reach upwards towards space. On your exhale, breath release. So you can use blocks or no blocks. If you use them on the first side, you'll want to take them with you for the second side. Back toes curl under. Spin around and just find a wide-legged forward fold, a couple breaths. If you'd like to adjust your bolster and allow for it to come underneath the head if it reaches. another deep breath in as you lift up. Set your bolster back. Spin around, and like I said, if you're using your blocks, bring them with you, spinning towards the back end of your mat, lowering your right knee down. Again, same options here, finding that suppleness by moving through the joints. And then as it feels ready for you, finding that spot where left knee is not surpassing toes, you may choose to stay directly here. Hands to thigh, reaching to the heart or to the sky. Again, there's going to be this tendency to flare the ribs and send the tail back and kind of be in this really lax expression of the pose. So finding that support, draw the tail down. So we're still getting the benefit of flexibility, absolutely, but we're also drawing into stability. On your exhale, breath release, hands down. Back toes curl under, knee lifts. Spin around, long edge of your mat again. Take a deep breath in as you rise up. Exhale as you release. We'll come back the same way we came into it, so towards your right toes. Send your right leg back to join your left, downward facing dog. You could take another vinyasa here if you'd like to, or linger in down dog. Those of you that are comfortable with your head, forehead on the bolster, you feel supported in everything you have going on here. Your hands might walk back, so more pressure will come onto the crown of the head. You might walk your feet in closer. You might extend one leg up. You might find that the other toes comfortably lift away. Lowering down, finding Balasana. So take a few breaths, softening the eyes, and just considering here the orientation of your body to the wall in front of you. Just imagining child's pose, so knees are wide, seat is towards the heels. Just take your arms and relax them beside you. Take a full breath in. Exhale, hug your chin in towards your chest, and turn your palms to face away from you. And then we'll bring it back up. This time, stretch your arms towards the sky. Always an option, guys, here to have a block beneath your seat. And turn your palms to face the wall in front of you. Draw the shoulders down and away from the lobes of the ears. Take a few breaths into the side body. On your exhale, release that. Hands come down. Set one knee down and then the other. Sit back, finding child's pose. Just resting the other cheek on the bolster.